So here's a question. With the COVID pandemic finally winding down, when are politicians gonna find the next emergency they need to declare?
In April, we initiated our first proclamation of a state of emergency related to this year's drought.
Well, that didn't take long.
We are now 2 years into a drought, having just come out of a 5-year drought that concluded just a few years ago. Arguably, we have been in drought conditions as far back as 2000, not only here in the state of California, but all throughout the west coast of the United States.
Nature makes water, and she makes it so that water, unlike everything else, is the ultimate renewable resource. It never gets used up. It just goes somewhere else. It's easy to purify and make drinkable, and completely on its own has kept life going for millions of years. Then government comes along and puts themselves in charge of it, and now there's a shortage. Amazing.
Some referring to the conditions in the West Coast appropriately as a mega drought.
Well, why don't you just call it a super mega drought? Then I'm sure everyone will come flocking to you for your wisdom and sagacity.
These conditions are familiar to many Californians. As a consequence, we have conservation as a way of life as it relates to being more efficient and more effective in terms of our use and utilization and distribution of water resources.
And look what happened. The more government tries to conserve water resources, the more scarce they make it. Whereas in areas where access to water is more marketized, they don't seem to have this problem. People come up with technological and economical ways of getting water and making it drinkable. How is it that your entire way of life can fail and fail and fail again, but it never occurs to you to change it?
Not only after the initiation of an April proclamation of a state of emergency, but the subsequent state of emergency that we announced in May.
Oh, I'm sure that made all the difference.
We are back today to sign an additional proclamation of a state of emergency.
Oh, I guess it didn't.
Including an additional 9 counties. Total now of 50 of our 58 counties officially are now in a order.
Yeah, just declare that state of emergency even harder.
That allows the ability for local water agencies as well as our state partners to be more efficient and effective in terms of moving to address issues in real time. In essence, clearing away a lot of the hurdles.
Did he actually say anything there? Because it just sounded like a lot of words thrown together to me. Does he have an actual proposal for how to deal with this problem that his own government caused?
This fundamental proclamation just simply allows for the capacity to do things that otherwise would be laborious and take time to move more effectively and efficiently to address conditions.
So your order says take things that are difficult and just do them easier?
There is an additional order. We are also signing today an executive order. That executive order specifically will lay out a framework to encourage voluntary water conservation efforts in the state of California.
How about voluntary water access efforts? Because conservation isn't the issue. The idea of conserving 100% renewable resource is laughable. It's about access, not conservation. For example, California's almond farmers have gotten through this worst drought in a century by accessing groundwater supplies such as aquifers, whereas the drought is only measured in terms of surface water. The almond farmers showed us there's plenty of groundwater in California, and they've gotten very good at not only obtaining access to it, but making efficient means of bringing it to the surface and irrigating their crops with it, minimizing both evaporation and runoff, all at a time when California was cutting back on delivering surface water. Maybe if more Californians had the government's permission to use well water on their own property, then the strain on the government's resources would be eased. But then Newsom wouldn't be able to declare a continuous state of emergency, so apparently that's not an acceptable solution.
I want to underscore voluntary water conservation here in the state of California.
Funny how politicians always resort to the word voluntary in times like this. It's like they're acknowledging that people understand that this can't be done just by barking out orders. Now, how voluntary it'll actually be remains to be seen.
We're hopeful that people will take that mindset that we brought into, people of the state of California will take that mindset they brought into the last drought and extend that forward with a 15% voluntary reduction, not only on residences, but industrial, commercial operations, and agricultural operations.
Why do I have the feeling that he's not going to be doing this himself? It's a restriction for you people. And again, the idea is that you have to do without something. Not that you can use it more efficiently or find alternative access.
We are encouraging people to do the common sense things, like reducing the amount of irrigation in the water you're doing out on your lawns, for example, reducing perhaps the time that you are in a shower.
Well, I won't be standing next to any Californians in the foreseeable future. Yeah, let's just give a basic hygiene.
Taking the opportunity to update the efficiency of your shower heads as an example.
I have no clue what goes wrong in the minds of politicians that they thought they had to ruin our shower heads to save water. Municipal water supplies are supposed to be engaging in wastewater recycling. So all the water we use for our showers is supposed to be recycled and used again.
When you're doing a load of laundry, make sure it's a full load of laundry. It just helps with water consumption.
Seriously, Newsom? This is what you think is driving California over the edge? You do know that washing machines can be set for different water levels, right? That a half load only has to use half the water? Maybe you should actually try doing your own clothes for once, or at least ask the help how this works.
So that's the two orders that we're signing today, proclamation of state of emergency.
You know, if it's such an emergency, there's something else you could do. Stop shutting down nuclear power facilities. Did you know that nuclear power plants can be easily retooled to purify water? In fact, you get distilled water pretty much as a byproduct.
And an executive order, which are in front of me. They may be in front of all of you with this wind in a second, so I'm mindful as I sign them.
Yeah, I would have more of a debunking here, but between his evasiveness and his word salad, I don't actually know what he's trying to propose here. But apparently you've got a governor with the same trouble forming a thought as Sam Seder, who thinks the solution to everything is to throw a declaration of emergency at it. What a Newsom! Hey, thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe and keep these videos coming by donating, becoming a subscriber and getting special benefits, or even for free with airtime. And check out all the great content here, like this video selected just for you.